Hello and welcome. You have tuned into Market Fatafat on ET Now. I'm Shrishti Sharma. With me is Vinny Motiwala. And viewers, this is the show where we are going to highlight all the buzzing counters. In the next 1 hour, we will connect with our team of researchers as well as our technical expert for today. So let's get started. But first of all, let's have a look at what the market action is. So Winnie, Reliance is clearly cheering up today, giving full support to the benchmark indices, and look at the move in Bank Nifty.
Absolutely, Reliance is, we'll talk more about Reliance later, but that is the top contributor for the Nifty 50 as well. Clear support that comes in from Reliance, like Shristi was mentioning. So yes, Nifty 50 today managing to hold on to comfortably about the 22,150 levels as of now. Almost near the day's highest point is what the Nifty 50 is trading at. Let's pull up what the broader markets are doing. Broader markets also managing to hold on to decent gains, we could say good gains, following the benchmark indices, and broader markets, Nifty mid cap up 0.6%, Nifty small cap also trading with gains of almost a good percent, we could say, for the Nifty small cap as well. That's the outperformance that we're seeing in the Nifty small cap side. In terms of the top sectorial gainer, let's pull up Nifty Energy. That's the one buzzing away in trade because a lot of reasons are there. Reliance, one of them. We have the OMCs that are buzzing. All of them come into this Nifty Energy basket. That's why Nifty Energy holding on to 1.3% gain. A lot of individual movers that we have Zomato, as well as Info Edge, as well as Indian Hotels, Metropolis Healthcare, Tata Chemicals, among some of the names that have been buzzing away in trade. But on that note, let's get started with those individual movers then, and let's bring on board Ashish Kyal as well as Snehi and Ashisha from the research team as well. Very good afternoon to all three of y'all as well. And Shrishti, let's start with the first stock then.
Well, yes, let's put the spotlight first up on Wockhardt Pharma. This is the counter that is locked at an upper circuit of 5%, and that's on the back of a news flow where the company has successfully completed its QIP of 480 crores, and marquee investors are seen to be participating in that, wherein Madhusudan Kela, Mr. Prashant Jain were some of the investors that have participated in this QIP. If we talk about some of the other mutual fund players, then Mirae Asset, Tata India Opportunities Fund are some of the names that have emerged in this particular list. Other than that, ICICI Prudential has managed to got around 21% of the total QIP amount, and that's the news flow on Wockhardt Pharma. So big investors are getting back the confidence on Wockhardt Limited. If we talk about some of the other triggers for the company, then definitely they are seeing this to be a turnaround story. They are very much positive on the antibiotic drug profile and the portfolio of the company, the new drug discovery that the company has been doing. Some of the drugs named nifithromycin is one of the antibiotics that have come out with a very good result, and after 30 long years we have seen some drug coming in the antibiotic space. Other than that, the company has big plans to get into biosimilar spaces and expand their diabetes portfolio as well. One of the key concerns was actually the debt profile of the company. So with this QIP, we'll wait and watch that if the company uses this particular amount to get rid of some of the debt on the books. So that's the key trigger for Wockhardt Pharma, locked in an upper circuit of 5%.
Okay, that is Wockhardt, but let's move on to stock number 2 on the technicals. Ashish, good afternoon. The first stock that you're picking out is from the Realty Pack, Sobha. When you look at Sobha, we've seen a very sharp run up for all these realty companies, but for Sobha in the last 1 month, we've seen a bit of a correction. Is it time to actually start buying this correction or maybe book out your profits? What's the view?
Hi, afternoon and all the viewers. If you look at Sobha, yes, you can see that over past 1 month, some kind of a correction, but if you look at past 1 week, we can clearly see it from the low around the level of 1257 and to a very smart recovery from there. So I think the stock is now having a multiple support area of 1235, 1237 and can move on the upside. So the target for Sobha on the upside is the previous peak high, which is around 1660. That is the target, and on the downside one can maintain a stop loss for the stock at around 1360 levels.
Okay. Surely keeping an eye out on Sobha over there. Let's move on and talk about L&T. That's the one we're keeping an eye out on as well. Now, why is L&T in focus today? The announcement came in that they won a construction order, which is a large order that they classify it as, for buildings and factories and the business of this as well. The company classifies these large orders, so they're worth around 2,500 to 5,000 crores, and the business has secured a contract to construct the AI Nama General Hospital from the Ministry of Health, and this is in Oman, that this order that they've got. And in the domestic market also, the business has secured an order of construction of Maha Kamakhya Temple Access Corridor in Assam. So yes, on this back of these order wins, we're seeing that there's focus on L&T today, trading with gains of almost 1%. The business also received an order from the subsidiary of the leading paint manufacturing company to construct polymer manufacturing plant in Gujarat. The business on an order of solar glass manufacturing in Gujarat as well. So yes, keeping an eye out on that. A big order win that has come in on that. Multiple order wins that we could say, ranging in this 2,500 to 5,000 crores. L&T holding on pretty at 3,711.
All right, moving on, let's shift focus to DLF then. And Ashish, you have been tracking this counter. Tell us, what are the next target we should be looking out?
See, Sobha, DLF also showed a very smart recovery from the lows of 800 and is moving on the upside. I think the overall tone for the stock is positive. It has been one of the outperformers over the past 1 year. If you look at the realty space, DLF has done exceptionally well, and the pause a buying opportunity. I think the stock can again head towards the previous pivot high of around 940 levels. That can be the target one can maintain, and on the downside one can maintain a stop loss of around 860.
Okay, that is DLF, keeping an eye on that. But Sneh, couple of block deals and the stocks in focus. Take us through those stocks.
Well, yes, when a couple of stocks in focus today on the back of the block deals that we did see coming in right when the market opened quite early in the day. And the stocks in focus are Aster DM as well as Aster DM. Let's talk about Aster DM Healthcare. Slipped over 6% after 5.1 crore shares representing a 10.1% stake in the company changed hands on the bourses this morning. Now, private equity firm Olympus Capital Asia Investments was looking to sell nearly 10% of its stake in Aster DM Healthcare through a block deal, and it is the likely seller of this block deal. And reports indicated that Olympus Capital Asia Investment held approximately 18.96% stake in Aster DM, of which it was looking to offload 9.8% stake. So, well, that was one stock that was in focus on the back of these block deals. But the second stock in focus was CDSL and the Central Depository Services Limited. That's the stock. CDSL dropped amid a large block deal in which Standard Chartered Bank is believed to have sold its entire shareholding in the company. Investment banker JP Morgan had last evening, remember, issued a term sheet for a book deal in which Standard Chartered Bank offered to sell its entire 7.18% stake at a floor price of 1,672 rupees per share. Now, this deal is estimated to be worth 1,250 crores at the floor price, but a confirmation about both of these deals would come in the evening when the exchanges release the block deal data. So, on the back of these two block deals, both of these stocks were in focus today.
All right, on the back of block deals, both the counters are seen to be a bit under pressure today. But moving on then, Ashish, what a rebound in this particular month we have seen in all these PSUs. BEML is one such counter on your radar. Tell us more on that front.
Yes, absolutely. So the PSU sector as a whole has shown a very smart recovery on the upside, and BEML also formed a low at around 2680. It formed a classic double bottom kind of pattern and is recovering from there. So the overall tone for BEML looks to be positive. We can expect the trend to continue towards the level of 3750 on the upside, and one can maintain a stop loss for the stock at 3000 levels.
Let's move on and talk about another stock that is Gravita India, Ashish. On the back of a brokerage note, we're keeping an eye out on this.
Well, yes, and the stock is soaring in trade today. The stock is up nearly 10% as 8.5% as we speak, and this is on the back of an initiating coverage report that has come in from Kotak Securities, where they've initiated coverage with a buy rating and a target price of about 1200. The stock has already crossed that 1000 mark. They say government policies reflect strong intent to scale up and formalize the recycling industry, and that is what makes them very positive on this counter. They say recycling industry prospects across commodities look very strong, especially for commodities like lead. They are penciling in revenue growth of about 20% on a CAGR basis over the next 3 years, and profit after tax growth of nearly 22% over the corresponding period. They see 20% plus ROCE and potential for monthly year compounding growth. So very positive report that has come in from Gravita India with a buy rating and a target price of 1200 from Kotak Securities, and that is the reason the stock is gaining in trade today.
All right. Welcome back to Market Fatafat. Let's keep it going with all the buzzing counters then, and let's put the spotlight on ABB India, one of the star performers today. That's on a back of a brokerage note where UBS has gone ahead and raised the target price to 7,550 rupees versus 5,380 rupees earlier, while maintaining their buy rating. What they are highlighting is that this is one of the best quality electrification and mobility growth plays in India. Electrification and motion to drive the growth and the margins of the company. More upside to the consensus on the margins despite some of the recent upgrades is what their take is on ABB India, and they're also saying that earnings acceleration sustainable. There's plenty of growth levers that are at play, and the street is definitely cheering out this particular analysis. As we can see on screen, ABB India up around 6% in trade, and it's been sustaining those gains since the start of the day as well.
Okay, surely keeping an eye out on ABB India, but let's move on to the next stock. And Ashish, the next stock you're going to talk about is Birlasoft. From the mid-cap IT side, what's the view on Birlasoft? What are the charts indicating? We've seen a bit of a run-up here, right?
Yeah, if you look overall, you can clearly see that there was some pressure around a month back, but the stock has managed to show some kind of a bounce back after around forming a low near the level of 720 and showed a smart recovery from there. So I think the overall, also it has broken the trendline resistance which was intact for quite some time, and I think it is starting the next leg on the upside. So one long positions can be created here, aiming for the target of around 820. And on the downside, one can maintain a support on stop loss around the level of 7.
Surely keeping an eye out on that. Let's move on and talk about MGL. Why are we keeping an eye out on this one? Now, Citi has upgraded MGL to a neutral from a previous sell rating, and they've given a target price also for the company of around 1,405 rupees. What they're saying is that the stock correction is the most in terms of the concerns that they're seeing, but the management seems quite optimistic in terms of overall the volumes of the company, the margin outlook of the company as well, and that is why they moved up to a neutral rating, and the target price of 1,405 rupees is what they've given. So let's keep an eye on MGL today, managing to hold on to gains of almost 1% off the day's highest point, but nonetheless holding on to gains of 1% in trade. That's what we're seeing, Shrishti.
All right, moving on, let's put the spotlight on Raymond's then. And Ashish, what's your take coming in on Raymond?
See, Raymond, stock has been an outperformer, and I think this is going to continue even for the coming months. Over short term, yes, there was some consolidation, but over the medium to long term perspective, the stock looks very attractive because there has been an accumulation that has happened, and we can expect a target of around 1900 over the near term, which is the upper end of the range. And on the downside, one can maintain a stop loss for the stock at 730 levels.
Okay, let's move on to the next one and say Angel One. Why are we keeping an eye out on this one today?
Well, Vinny, Angel One is in focus on the back of the update that we are getting about the QIP. Now, remember, Angel One shares dipped in the morning session but made a very fast recovery to go higher by 7.5% after it launched its qualified institutional placement, which is the QIP offer. As of now, also, when you can see the share is up 8%, the stock is up 8% as we speak. The issue price has been set at 2,555 rupees per share, which is a very steep discount to where it is currently trading at 2,941. That's where the stock is. Now, the purpose of this fundraise is to augment and build financial flexibility to grow the business and harness various emerging opportunities both within the existing and expanding broking business and across the inorganic universe within the fintech space. This is what the company had said in a stock exchange filing earlier. Remember, this development comes after the leading broker announced last month that it will be raising up to 2,000 crore rupees through the preferential issue, QIP or any other mode. So while on the back of this floor price and the QIP update that we've been getting, the stock is doing pretty well, up 8% as we speak.
All right, moving on then, and Ashish, talk to us about Mankind Pharma. Just yesterday, we have seen a big block on this particular counter, but the stock did recover smartly from the day's lowest point. Is this gearing up for a good breakout?
Yes, it has actually given a very strong breakout, and yesterday there was huge volumes. We can see that on back of the block bill. But today also it has continued the upward trajectory, and it's not stopping here. It was consolidating for quite some time with 2255 as an important support should act now. And I think the targets for Mankind can be expected around 2450 levels.
Okay. 2450 levels is a target that one could keep an eye out on for Mankind Pharma. Let's move on Prism Cement, Ashesha. Why is this one in focus today?
Well, yes, it is in focus on the back of their fundraising plans. The stock is gaining nearly 5.5 to 6% today after they informed the exchanges that the board of directors will be meeting on the 29th of March to consider fundraising via issue of non-convertible debentures, which will be done on private placement basis. On account of these plans that have come through, the stock is in focus, gaining over 5.5% today. Remember, the stock has run up quite a bit. In the last 6 months, the stock is up 37% and has gained 67% in the last 1 year. Today, of course, on the back of this fresh announcement that has come, the stock is gaining in trade.
Okay, surely keeping an eye out on Prism Cements in trade today. But on that note, let's just dip into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more stocks after the break.